Oakland Raiders and San Diego Chargers. Two teams who battle to a virtual tie in the AFC West. 11-5. They each beat each other on their home field, and the Chargers are introduced now. San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, named after the recently deceased sports writer who brought Major League sports to this city. 52,000 partisan fans decorated in their blue and gold, and an intense rivalry. 43rd time these two teams have met, and yet they have never played each other in a championship game. Pride and poise of Oakland against Charger power. Will it be San Diego or Oakland that goes to New Orleans?
I think you'd like to put your strength on the field first. I think a team like Oakland wants their defense up. A team like San Diego would like to have their offense up.
Cal Lepore is the referee, and now the toss of the coin.
And the tail is pale. Visiting team is Oakland who make the call. Call while it's in the air. What do you call? Heads. Calls heads. It is heads. Oakland wins the toss. Like to receive. When you send the goal. Turn around, please. Oakland wins the toss. Likes to receive. That's it. Good luck, man. Have a good one.
Tom Flores, 43 years of age, University of Pacific graduate. He's been a Raider most of his football life. Don Coryell. He was in the playoffs with the St. Louis Cardinals 3 times, lost first-round games. Lost last year with San Diego in the first round, but here he is playing on his home field for the championship today. Ready to go, and they're on their feet in San Diego. Keith Moody, the ex-Buffalo Bill, at the 9. And he's down at the 29-yard line. Hal Stringert, number 45, and Hank Bauer, 37, with a tackle. The offense for the Oakland Raiders, led by 16, Jim Plunkett. You'll see those in the white configuration are Pro Bowlers. Kenny King, as a first-year Raider, goes to that Pro Bowl. Mark Van Eeghen, the reliable fullback. Cliff Branch represents the speed. Bob Chandler, the finesse. And Raymond Chester, oh, what big catches in the win against Cleveland last week. Art Shell on the way to the Pro Bowl with Gene Upshaw, Dave Dalby, Mickey Marvin, and Henry Lawrence. Van Eeghen. For 4 yards, Leroy Jones made the tackle. Defensively for the San Diego Chargers, a front four that has enjoyed considerable superlatives written about them this year. Leroy Jones, and then the other 3 all going to the Pro Bowl. Big Louis Kelcher, Gary Big Hands Johnson, the speed Fred Dean, linebackers Preston Horn and Lowe. Some doubt about their talent in covering the pass. Buchanan and Williams at the corners. Glenn Edwards and Mike Fuller at safety. 2nd and 6. Kenny King. Ray Preston after a short gain, and Louis Kelcher. And they love Louis.
Big Louis Kelcher, number 74. He's the policeman. Watch his reaction now. They're trying to pin him away from that draw play. Just spins back inside. That's good recognition and excellent reaction to the play, to the draw. They're trying to open it up, give the quarterback a little more room with that play, Dick.
And now Plunkett faces a possible pass situation at the 35. Incomplete. Complete to Raymond Chester. He could go all the way. 30, 20. Chester has a touchdown.
Chester still can't believe it. Ball glanced off the hand of the intended receiver, right into his hands, and he waltzes 65 yards Some people say that this is a team that's destined to go to the Super Bowl. Looking at that play, off the hands of Kenny King, right into the hands of Raymond Chester, and no one believed it.
It caught the entire San Diego defense, of course, drifting with the anticipation that King would catch the ball. So when Chester meat hooked it down, he had clear sailing the opposite way before the defense could retract. Chris Barr out of Chandler's hold for the extra point. It's good. Sometimes you're good, and sometimes you're good and lucky. And the Raiders, in a matter of a minute and a half, have 7 points on a deflection.
From my football experience, I know that very often when you get a big play like this right off the bat, and you tend to relax a little bit, sometimes it can do almost as much damage to a team as it does good. It puts them on the scoreboard. It gives them the 7 points. But you'd hope that it hasn't deflated all of that emotion that Oakland brought into this game.
So the Oakland Raiders on a deflection from King to Casper, a play that would not have been legal a couple of years ago, but of course that rule been changed, have the early 7-0 lead, and now it's Barr to kick it off to San Diego. Deep for the Chargers, Hank Bauer, number 37, and Ron Smith, 84. Took a minute and 35 seconds and 3 plays for Oakland to get on the board. Older brother of Pittsburgh's Matt Barr. Hank Bauer at the 9. And he is smothered short of the 20-yard line. Otis McKinney, number 23, the tackler. The San Diego offense, NFL record-setting offense, led by quarterback Dan Fouts. Back-to-back 4,000 yards passing. Chuck Muncie from New Orleans, Mike Thomas, the ex-Redskin with him. 3 Pro Bowl receivers, Joyner, Jefferson, and Winslow, all over 1,000 yards. Shields, Doug Wilkerson, Pro Bowler, Masick, White, and Dan Audick for Russ Washington, who was injured against Oakland at midseason. From the 17-yard line, Fouts to throw, and he's going long for Smith. All the way to the 29-yard line. To the man who caught the winning touchdown against Buffalo last week.
Dan Fouts is not wasting any time. He's going for it right off the bat. A perfect toss.
5 defensive backs for the Raiders. Otis McKinney in the lineup. Winslow is split left. Jefferson and Joyner to the right. Intercepted. And you know who? All the way to the 25-yard line goes Lester Hayes. What an amazing year for the young cornerback from Texas A&M.
Lester Hayes able to anticipate, able to get a great jump on that ball. The receiver had fallen down on the play and just put himself beautifully in line for that one.
And look at those numbers for 1 year. Now 5 interceptions in the playoffs, 22 turnovers for Hayes alone. Raymond Guy, a weapon in his own right. He hits a beauty. Mike Fuller all the way back to the 21-yard line. There's also a flag down. Fuller to the 34.
Is a marvel at getting that ball on target, in traffic, under pressure. That ball perfectly thrown, and Joyner, of course, arriving at the precise spot that he is supposed to be in, too.
Ted Hendricks, who's had a banner season, and he almost got to Fouts.
He's been the pressure man. He's been the trigger man for that defense.
Live action, it's Fouts scrambling and going long for Joyner. Touchdown! Touchdown! for the goose is fair for the gander. Another deflection, and it's San Diego that scores this time.
Fouts is throwing to a man who is double covered. He has so much confidence in his receivers that he even throws when there are two people standing on top of him. And Charlie Joyner makes the kind of catch that John Jefferson has been famous for all year. How can you have a better catch than that?
A bad snap, but a good spot. Mike Fuller saved the extra point, and the game is tied. Veteran Charlie Joyner ties it on this catch, fighting off two Raiders.
Burgess Owen, number 44, one of the men who had picked up Joyner in the secondary. You see the pass right there, just over the outstretched fingertips of Dwayne Osteen. He looked like he had a chance at it until the very end.
Merlin, it appeared that Joyner, actually with the ball out of his vision, had hit his helmet, and he felt it up there and brought it in for the score. I guess that's what all that experience is about.
Well, that's why the Chargers are watching all three of their receivers go to the Pro Bowl. Winslow, Joyner, Jefferson have been making this kind of play all year long on Dan Fouts throws. Oh, what a catch. Great camera work, gentlemen, too.
Rolling and throwing long to Branch. All the way to the 37-yard line. Well, this isn't a pea shooting contest. They're out with the big cannons early in the first quarter.
I alluded to the fact that in many past years, contests of this kind were grind 'em out affairs. Both of these teams have come out throwing the big guns immediately. The ball is in the air and they're going for broke. And that's the big weapon. That's the long-range weapon. The vertical game, as Al Davis would say for Oakland. Number 21, Cliff Branch.
9.3 speed. Ran one of the fastest 40s ever. 4.3. And it's a first down at the 37 of San Diego. Two tight ends in for the Raiders. Van Egan to the 32. Fred Dean, the tackler, with Fuller assisting. Well, you were wrong for one of the few times I can recall all year. You thought it'd be more of a passive first quarter.
I thought they would test each other a little bit before they opened the gates. Of course, perhaps that big play, that almost a freaky kind of play, that bouncing off the hands and into Chester's hands, that might have changed the philosophy early. Look at the stick 'em on Lester Hayes.
Plunkett's going to run it in. Touchdown. Now Jim Plunkett scrambles in, and that's a dimension that our two experts, Messrs. Brody and Dawson, can well appreciate. They weren't exactly known for their running talent, but
talked about Plunkett's ability to scramble. He is not a particularly fast runner, but he's willing to run. He's averaged 5 yards a run during the season.
But never had a more important run this year, and that short one into the end zone. He finds the defensive lineman clogged in the center, gives a little fake, and just dives in, slides in.
Chris Barr tags on the extra point. When we return, we'll get a comment from our quarterback experts. 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Already 3 touchdowns, and Oakland leads at 14-7. The winner of this game against Philadelphia. Wide open is Chester, and a first down at the 21-yard line of San Diego. Mike Williams with a tackle, a 10-yard play. Gene Upshaw protecting his quarterback, Jim Plunkett, and Upshaw in his 10th title game, tying the all-time record.
It's very important today that we give Plunkett enough time to read his coverage and throw the ball. It's very crucial early in the game that he has the confidence that we're blocking him so that he can drop back and have confidence when he dropped back to look for more than one receiver. The guys up front had to do a better job than we've done all year because they have an excellent defensive line that'll come after you. They come after you for 60 minutes, and we know that.
How prophetic that Gene Upshaw should call it a touchdown to Kenny King. Plunkett, given all that protection, finds his halfback King in the end zone. It's 20-7.
Gene Upshaw, of course, crucially responsible. He's got a one-on-one assignment with Gary Big Hands Johnson. He's taking care of his part of it. Plunkett and King are taking care of theirs.
Two new members, relatively new. Plunkett was with the Raiders, of course, last year, but didn't see any action. And now Barr for the extra point. Down the middle. So Jim Plunkett of the Oakland Raiders has thrown 2 touchdown passes and run for a third. And it's 21-7. Oakland. Mike Thomas does a lone setback. Fouts dumps it to Thomas. Good move. But down at the 21, Matt Millen, 55, the rookie from Penn State. One of only 2 rookies on this Oakland team. The other is backup quarterback Mark Wilson.
They call Millen Spike. And he has put the spike in a lot of offensive plays during this season. Has been a most valuable addition. 265 pounds out there today, playing the responsibility, the role of linebacker, but he's just an extra defensive lineman out there.
Muncie still being worked on, and now will take a seat along the near sidelines as Fouts stares at 2nd and 14. Jefferson coming to this side. Winslow split left. Intercepted by Owens. Burgess Owens has blockers. And Thomas hits him at the 27-yard line. Tough break for the Chargers. It went right through someone's hands.
He's tackled by number 22.
John Brody, why don't you take this replay?
Well, Dan Fouts gets the defense he's looking for. He finds a way to get Jefferson in the middle, one-on-one. They're using 5 backs back there, but he still found some openings. He's made a couple crucial mistakes. They both resulted in turnovers. As a result, this baby has the problems of a possible blowout.
Now there's a timeout. 12.5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Raiders have the lead and the ball. San Diego the scene. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, Len Dawson, John Brody. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys 20-7 earlier today for the National Conference Championship. This game started in a wild and crazy manner on a deflected pass that went through King's hands to his teammates Chester. 65-yard touchdown and a fumble by Thomas, and the Raiders say they have it. It's Oakland's ball, and look who pounces on it, Ted Hendricks. It's been that kind of day for the Raiders thus far. They have 2 pass interceptions to stop San Diego drives deep in Oakland territory, and they lead 21-7, and Don Coryell's team is in trouble.
Ronnie Dawson made the point at the opening of the show. San Diego leads the NFL in giveaways, that's fumbles and interceptions, and the Oakland Raiders lead the NFL in takeaways. There's another one. Got to wonder if maybe Gary Johnson wasn't shaken up. We haven't seen much of Wilbur Young during the last half of the year, but he's in there now.
Plunkett to Cliff Branch. Look at the speed. Branch has a first down at the 15-yard line. Well, yesterday Al Davis was watching Branch, who refused to come off the field. Branch wanted more and more and more practice, wanted to work on another route, and they finally had to chase him off the stadium floor.
You have a great receiver with speed. You can turn a short pass into a very big play. That's Branch's individual athletic skill that gets the first down. It's about a 6-yard pattern, and from there on, Branch just uses his great speed and his vision to get that first down.
23 yards on the reception. Van Egan carries to the 11-yard line. 2nd down and 6. Branch playing in his 6th AFC championship game. He missed only in '73. And in 1974, he set an AFC record with 9 catches. 1st and goal at the 3. Mark Van Egan scores for Oakland. Untouched. And usually unemotional, Tom Flores with a smile and a gesture.
A chance to put your helmets on at home. Here comes one right into the living room. Mark Van Egan. Tremendous hole, gaping hole in that offensive line. They just ripped San Diego to shreds on that one, and Van Egan untouched, literally, as he went into the end zone.
Barr's try for point is there, and the Raiders have jumped in front 28-7. I'd like to also acknowledge the fact that it'll be special, that honor of Sportscaster of the Year, to share it with Al Michaels of ABC, a longtime friend, and his outstanding work during the course of the year, and especially from our colleagues, our sportscaster, sports writers. It is a very special honor.
Tom Flores, a rather placid man on this sideline, but he does have things churning inside of him.
A near must-scoring opportunity for Fouts.
A crucial situation for Fouts. He needs that 7 points.
Triple left with Joyner in motion. Joyner. Touchdown. Joyner, not Jefferson, caught that touchdown. His second of the day.
John, take the replay. John.
I'll tell you what he's doing. What he's doing is using 3 wide receivers to the same side of the field. All that is set up because Greg McCrary is back in the game. It allows him to use different formations. He used a lot of patience with those formations. As a result, put on a great drive.
A most important touchdown for San Diego before the half. They've cut the Raider lead to 28-14. Owens is at the 5-yard line as they look for that long pass, and here it comes, up for grabs. Incomplete, and that is the end of the first half in San Diego. Yeah, we expected plenty of offense, and that's what the first 30 minutes have provided. Turnovers by San Diego, and the opportunistic Raiders taking advantage. And at the intermission, the score, Oakland 28, San Diego 14. Chargers, as you've said so many times during the course of this year, Merlin Olsen at first position to establish momentum, power in the second half is so very important.
Pretty interesting first statistics. You look at the yardage, total yardage passing, 243 for the Chargers, but as I said earlier, the most important stat is what's happened at the end of those drives, not between the 20s, between the goal lines. And Oakland has been able to get that ball in the end zone. Look at the turnovers. None for Oakland, 3 for San Diego.
And as we said at the start, Oakland has taken the ball more than any team in the NFL, and San Diego's coughed it up more. Ron Smith dancing out of bounds with a first down at the 35. 11-yard play to Smith, who caught only 4 all season. And San Diego settles for 3. So the Chargers, with a solid drive downfield, get 3, and it's now 28-17. Raymond Guy.
The early momentum here, Dick, offensively and defensively, swinging towards San Diego. They've still got a long ways to come to get themselves back into a tie with Oakland.
Only Fuller back, 10 men on the line for San Diego. Oh, they almost got it. Glenn Edwards was close. Fuller at the 31. 45. He's all the way to the 41-yard line. For Fuller after a 46-yard Guy punt.
Sometimes Ray Guy kicks the ball so far that it's hard to carry. Hard to get down there to make the tackle. Unusual to have a good return off a play of this kind.
6.5 minutes left in this third quarter.
Muncy obviously in the game because of his physical stature, short yardage, running game. That's the work of big men, and Muncy's one of the biggest backs in the NFL.
They like to run him to the left. Here he goes. Touchdown! Chargers have scored 10 points in this third quarter. Once down 28-7. They've now pulled to 28-23. Mike Fuller will hold for Benerska. It was Fuller's punt return that set up the score. Good.
You called it exactly right. They like to put Muncie over that left side. He gets excellent blocking. Big Ed White, number 67. Wilkerson, 63, out in front of him. But he could have gone a long ways further if he'd had to.
So with 6:13 left in the third quarter, Oakland's lead is 4-17. A 27-yard kick by Barr, who had his troubles here in the first game between these teams. Not on that one. Barr drills it through, and with 49 seconds left in the third quarter, the Raiders are back on top by a touchdown. The score in San Diego, Oakland 31, the Chargers 24. They're still very much alive in San Diego. Friday was San Diego Charger Day. I understand all the school kids, elementary through high school, all wore their blue and yellow. The spirit. The Chargers, and they're down to 15 minutes to go. 31-24 the score. The Raiders in front. Oakland good field position at its 49. Van Egan to the 37-yard line, and a first down for the Raiders. Third quarter statistics.
As you might expect, favoring the San Diego Chargers substantially, but tremendous yardage gained by both these teams so far in this game. Plunkett, Dick, has averaged 23.3 yards per pass completion today.
He's got it. And a big 3 points it is for the Oakland Raiders. Timeout. 9 minutes and 46 seconds left. And the Raiders now enjoy a 10-point advantage. Triple left formation. Fouts. Oh, had Winslow open and overshot him. 4th and goal. And apparently Coryell will go to the field goal. And Winslow limping again.
Still having trouble with that calf. Stretched all the way out. I think perhaps a healthy Kellen Winslow would have made this catch. Almost a basketball play again, a double pick. And they throw it a little high to Winslow. You see him surge off that leg, and he comes up grabbing that right calf.
An apparent 28-yard field goal. Benerska drills it through. 6 minutes, 52 seconds left. The Raiders still lead by a touchdown, 34-27. It's kind of Cinderella story for the Raiders, certainly in the what was regarded start of the year the toughest division of the NFL, the AFC West. No one really thought it'd be the Oakland Raiders here. Now it's 3rd and 5. San Diego must stop the Raiders, or Oakland will run out the clock. 1:52 left. Plunkett's going to run it for a first down. He got the first down and fell at the 24. And now the Chargers can call time for only the last time.
And I think that might write the end of the Chargers story. A wonderful story it has been during this past season. But the colors in the Super Bowl are going to be silver and black.
They have not called time. 1:23, 1:22 left. The season that began shortly after the 4th of July. The hard work of summer, the 4 preseason games, the highs and lows of a 16-game season, and the wild card Oakland Raiders, although they did indeed tie 11-5 with a record with San Diego. And now it's just chew up the clock. 102, 101, and there now is the final timeout exercised by the San Diego Chargers with 101 left in the game. And now, unless the Raiders make a horrendous error, Oakland can make its plans for New Orleans. 101 left. Second down play from the 21 of San Diego. The Raiders already starting to congratulate each other along the far sidelines. Plunkett needs only to take the snap and fall on it. That's what he'll do. And the clock will start to run. And as it does in this final minute, our thanks to an exceptional NBC crew. I just can't recall, Merlin, a better job done. Every great play was seen from an angle, 2 angles, 3 replays. The executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don Ohlmeyer. Coordinating producer Ted Nathanson. Telecast of this 1981 AFC Championship has been produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Ted Nathanson. Replay producer George Finkel. Our replay director was Ken Fouts. NFL 80 was produced by David Stern, directed by Bob Levy. Wait for the visuals to catch up here. Our technical directors are Ray Figelski and Sal Nagita. Associate producers Mike Hadley, Peter Rolfe, and David Neal. Associate directors Richard Klein, Mary Buda, John Filippelli. Thanks to our spotters Bill Edwards, Dan Sexton. Also Bob Sexton and Dennis Mnuchin, Joe Costanzas, our statistician. Down to the final seconds. 5-4. The Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles go to Super Bowl 15. Plunkett can certainly appreciate whatever words Dan Fouts offered him. If anyone knows what it's like to be down, up, and then down at the bottom of the pile and then recover, it's Jim Plunkett of Oakland.
Interesting how the 2 seasons of the Chargers and Plunkett have coincided. As we said, that first appearance for that 1 pass, his first start of the season against the San Diego Chargers, and now he beats the Chargers to take his Oakland Raiders. Great job by their defense today and working on Dan Fouts. Their offensive line gave Plunkett the time, opened holes for their receivers. A tremendous performance by them.
And as Glenn Dawson and John Brody indicated as they analyzed the game, that the Raiders would have to establish the running game. And Van Egan with 85 yards, 3 long, time-consuming drives by Oakland, 2 to field goals and 1 to run out the clock. And Van Egan was the star in the 4th quarter.
What a strange finish to a season that started out rather awkwardly for the Oakland Raiders. Many said just a rebuilding year, and Oakland took exception to that. But they have 14 new faces on the team this year. Incredible that Al Davis, Tom Flores, and all of these Oakland Raider players have brought it to such an outstanding fruition.
The winningest team in football the last 20 years, and the Oakland Raiders, the few fans able to muster tickets in San Diego, have every cause to celebrate. We'll be right back after this word.
On Chips, Punch and John get into heavy trouble when they come to the aid of a lady hard hat. Then, a blockbuster movie, the first time on TV, a ventriloquist, his girlfriend, and a dummy. Who's the killer? Magic, a terrifying love story starring Anne Margaret. Sunday, an exciting lineup right after the AFC Championship on NBC.
Nellie awaits the birth of her child, but her in-laws have already arrived.
This baby will be Jewish.
On Little House, then 300 Miles for Stephanie, a world premiere.
Oh, Father, let her live so I can love her.
The true story of a father who wouldn't accept death.
She's gonna die, Beto.
And is packed with God to spare his daughter.
Over 300 miles I'll walk. No, run.
Tony Orlando in a brilliant dramatic debut right after Little House Monday.
Here, the Oakland Raiders have earned themselves a trip to the Super Bowl where they will meet the Philadelphia Eagles. Final 34-27. This is a team that you could have bet against early in the season, early on. A lame duck team, perhaps playing its last season in Oakland. One that lost its quarterback early on. One that was 2-3 after 5 weeks. One that made it as a wild card entry. And one that it seems had everything going against it. Had to go into Cleveland and had to play a team in an ice box and managed to win, and had to come in here to San Diego. Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett. Congratulations, James. It's not a bad Cinderella season?
Not at all. It's, for a while I thought I was out of football, and for this to happen to me this year is tremendous.
This team was 2-3 after 5 weeks. Dante Pastorini went down with an injury. Jim Plunkett comes in. Could you have ever believed this could be possible?
Well, I'm pretty optimistic, but we came a long way. We're playing badly at the beginning of the year. We put things together offensively and defensively, and this is the result. It's terrific. It's
an outstanding year. Your happiest?
Oh, my happiest by far.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Let's see who else we can. Tom Flores, come on. Coach Tom. Tom, one quick one. Congratulations on an outstanding year.
Thank you very much.
Besides outscoring San Diego, what do you want to accomplish coming in here?
Well, we wanted to contain them because we knew they had a great offense, and we knew we had to contain them and keep them out of the end zone. We had to score points because they scored points, and we scored. Our offense was great, and our defense really played well.
This has been a marvelous season in terms of character for this team because, as I said at the top, they could have found a lot of reasons to quit. Tough season in Oakland, fans not necessarily behind what was going on with the team, and then playing as a wild card entry. You deserve a great deal of credit.
Well, thank you very much. I'll tell you, this is a great bunch of guys. We played hard together, we hung in, and I'm very proud to be a part of this team. I'm proud of them.
Standing with Mark Van Egan, who was responsible for an Oakland Raider ground game that went over the 100-yard mark today. Mark, you were around the last time the Raiders made the trip to Super 11. This team is a lot different, isn't it, in terms of character, in terms of style?
Very much so, in that back then we pretty much, we almost conceded ourselves a championship. Getting to the championship, only thing we had to do back then was just win that last game. This year was so different in that we weren't supposed to go anywhere, so every game was a complete challenge for us. And I would like to say that I knew we were going to do it way back then, but I didn't. I just knew that from mid-season on, I knew we were rolling really well.
It seemed like because of problems on and off the field that it was a Raiders against the world kind of temperament on the team. Do you buy that?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think you could have much more adversity that's been happening around our team in the last 18 months or so, with people leaving and a possible move to another city, and a quarterback controversy, and breaking his leg, and a new quarterback, and so many new faces in the lineup. I guess nobody could really imagine that we'd be where we are now, except we did. From mid-season on, we knew we had something, and well, we're here. I'm happy.
Mark Van Egan, congratulations.
Thank you.
See you in New Orleans.